My girlfriend left me for a rich guy, then came back 2 years later begging for a second chance. My ex-girlfriend and I were together for almost 5 years. I was working long hours at a small startup. My car barely ran. I rented a tiny apartment. Most of my money went toward bills. But I loved her. Honestly, I thought we'd eventually get married. She always told me she believed in me, that she didn't care about money. Then one day she met someone new, a guy named Brandon. Brandon had everything I didn't. Luxury car, designer clothes, expensive vacations. At first she said they were just friends, then coworkers, then close friends. Over the next few weeks she became distant. Texts got shorter, dates got canceled, conversations felt forced. Then one evening she sat me down and gave the speech, the one everyone dreads. I need to find myself. I need space. I don't know what I want anymore. The classics. I asked if there was someone else. She looked me straight in the eyes and said no. A week later, she was posting vacation photos with Brandon. So that was a lie. The breakup destroyed me. Not because she left, because she made me feel like I wasn't enough. For months, I barely slept. I threw myself into work just to stay distracted. While she was posting beach photos and luxury dinners, I was working 12-hour days trying to survive. Eventually, something changed. The startup I worked for started growing. Really fast, the owners offered me a leadership role. I accepted. Then stock options. I accepted those too. For the next 2 years, I worked harder than I ever had in my life. Slowly, things started paying off. The company exploded. New investors came in, new contracts, and one day, the startup got acquired. The stock options I almost ignored ended up being worth more money than I ever thought I'd see in my lifetime. Suddenly, I owned a beautiful house, paid off my parents' debts, started traveling, bought my dream car. Life was good. Then came the part nobody could predict. One afternoon, I got a message request on social media from her, 2 years after she left. At first, I didn't even open it. Curiosity eventually won. The message said, "Hey, it's been a long time." A few days later, another message appeared, then another. Eventually, I replied, just to be polite. Then she asked if we could meet for coffee. Against my better judgment, I agreed. The moment I saw her, I knew something was different. Not physically, emotionally, she seemed nervous, almost desperate. We talked about life, work, family, the usual. Then she finally brought it up. Brandon. Apparently the relationship hadn't ended the way she'd imagined. Not even close. The luxury lifestyle disappeared. The vacations stopped. The relationship became toxic. They broke up after 3 months. Now she was living alone, working a job she hated, and struggling financially. Meanwhile, she'd spent the last hour asking questions about my life, my house, my business investments, my travel plans. Interesting. Then came the moment I'd been expecting. I was stupid. Then her eyes started watering. I've never met anyone who treated me as well as you did. There it was. The confession. For a second, a small part of me felt satisfied, because for years I'd wondered if I really wasn't enough. And now I had my answer. The problem was, I wasn't the same person anymore. The guy she left behind was gone. She talked for nearly 20 minutes, apologizing, crying, telling me she thought about me all the time. Then she finally asked the question, "Do you think we could try again?" I looked at her for a long moment, then said something I'll never forget. "You didn't want me when I was building my future." Her eyes filled with tears. I continued, "You want me now that the future is built." Silence. Complete silence. Because we both knew it was true. She started crying, and for the first time in years, I genuinely felt sorry for her. Not because she lost me, because she had to live with her own choices. Eventually, she whispered, "I really do love you." Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but it no longer mattered. I smiled politely, paid for the coffee, and stood up. Then I wished her the best, and walked away. The hardest lesson I ever learned is that some people only see your value after someone else does. By then, it's usually too late.